Greg and I did our meal prep, and he is outside right now, um, cutting the grass. Oh my God, today has been crazy. I mean, from the time that I woke up this morning, it's been go, go, go. So yesterday I went and got my hair done, and I don't know if you guys can even tell, but it's a lot later right now. We just keep going later, which is cool. But Greg is cutting grass right now, so I figured, why not come on here and see what you guys are doing? I am dying. It is so hot in here. So I'm drinking some water, and we're gonna chit chat about a few things. I started to do a daily vlog yesterday, and I just decided that I wasn't gonna upload it. But I wanted to come on here and tell you guys some of the things that happened. But before I kind of jump into that, I just want to say that, like, I don't know, there's been a couple things that have been going through my mind. So a girlfriend of mine reached out to me yesterday and asked me about, well, I asked her what her why is for wanting to compete in a bodybuilding competition, and the same question was posed to me. So I'm still thinking about that, and I'm trying to kind of figure out what my why is, but I'll go into that a little bit later. But first, I want to tell you guys, so yesterday when I went to get my hair done, it's a long drive. So first, I left really early. I left to go get my hair done about 2 hours before my appointment. Normally, it takes about an hour and a half to get to the salon, but I wanted to stop and get gas, and I figured if I got there a little bit early, I could read my book, which right now, I'm going to talk about this in a second, but right now I am reading Big Little Lies, and this is one of 3 books that I'm reading, but actually I just finished one of those, and I'll kind of go over those 3 so you can see what I'm currently reading. But I was driving. I keep kicking my desk, so my computer keeps moving. Let me get it together. All right. Calm down, Dawn. What are you talking about? Okay, so I drove to the other side of town, and I got there way earlier than expected. I don't know if it was because it was a Saturday and there just wasn't much traffic when it was, but like I got there pretty fast. So I had about 45 minutes to go. And I was like, well, I know there's a new Walmart in this area, so let me go check that Walmart out. And when I did, I was like, oh my God, there's trash everywhere. Like, this place is completely trashed. This is so not cool. And I was kind of taken aback because I'm not like used to that. Oh, look at this, you guys. This is so random. I know I got a pimple in the middle of my freaking forehead. What is that about? Okay. I cannot focus today. I'm going to be all over the place. So, anyway, we went to this Walmart. It was like, well, I went to this Walmart. I called Greg when I got there. I almost hit myself in the head with my thing. I'm getting this notification on my computer. Leave me alone. I don't want to update right now. No. All right. So, anyway, I got to the Walmart and I called Greg. I'm like, oh my God, this place is like it's not even cool. But I walked in and I was looking at some things and I'm like, wait a second, when we bought this the other day, like how much was this? And because we have like these heart mirrors in our entryway, and we got them at Walmart for like $3. No, not $3. Sorry, there was 3. It was $10. They were asking almost $15 for them. I think it was like $13.99 or maybe it was $14.99. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of expensive. And I looked at something else and I'm like, wait a second, that shouldn't be that much either. It's like, this store is like dirty and not like, I don't even feel safe in this area. So I ended up leaving. But when I was there, he says, well, drive over to where there used to be an Ollie's. And Ollie's is, I don't know if you guys know what Ollie's is, but Ollie's is kind of like a Big Lots and like a discount. It's like a discount bargain outlet, right? They buy all these like old candies, and you can get rugs there. And I mean, actually, I have a rug from Ollie's in this room. It's like pink and it's very uncomfortable, but it's very kind of cool and kind of fits with my vibe in here. But anyway. So they closed that store down. They turned it into a Planet Fitness because what they did is they took the store, they cut it. I don't want to say they cut it in half, but they had to cut part of the store out, and they made a road to go back to a bunch of condos and townhomes that they have built recently. And this county is so overpopulated. I mean, that's the main reason that we ended up moving out here anyway. And I drove back there. It looks really nice. I mean, it's nice apartments and I mean, well, townhomes and condos. I mean, they're nice. And they're really not that expensive for that area. Most townhomes in that area are going to be anywhere from like the upper 300s to like $400,000. And these were starting, I think, in the low twos. So that was actually pretty cheap. And I thought I had enough time I could take a tour and look around because I kind of like that stuff. I like going to open houses and just looking around because sometimes you can get some good ideas when you go look. So that's what I did. And I don't even know what the purpose of me saying this is, but I had like 45 minutes. So anyway, I was supposed to go early to the salon and read my book, but I ended up not doing that. So I got my hair done and I had a nice conversation with my stylist and, we did like all that kind of good stuff. And you can't even tell because today, I mean, we were outside, like for 4 hours, we were outside ripping out bushes and cutting things down and doing all that stuff because we're going to completely redo the yard. But anyway, so I did all that. When I left, I'm sitting in my Jeep and I start to back my Jeep out of the parking space and I look over and I'm like, what is jumping around in the car next to me? And I look and it's only about 82 degrees outside. Hey neighbors, how are you guys doing? So anyway, I'm sitting there and I like back out and I realize it is a dog jumping. And it's I guess it was, what was it? It was 82 degrees when I looked at my watch. And I'm kind of like freaking out a little bit because I've never been in a position where I've seen a dog. And I'm in a shopping center where if you're at the shopping center, you're probably at the salon or you are like legit shopping, right? You're not like running in to go grab some milk or something. And even then I'd kind of be like, And it was a really small dog. It reminded me of Digger a lot. So it kind of freaked me out a little bit. And I'm like, this is not cool. And the window was just cracked a little bit. So I Google, I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I Googled because I'm like, do I call 911? Is that like an emergency or do I call a non-emergency line? Like, I'm unsure. So anyway, I Googled and I'm like, well, what is the temperature in a car if it's like 82 degrees outside? It said something like it's close to 100 degrees in the car, and that's within minutes. And I had already been sitting there for about 10 minutes, right? And I can't get a hold of Greg. I'm trying to call him, like, what should I do? Because I'm like really like scared. I don't want to make anybody mad, but then at the same time, I'm getting mad because the dog's in the car. And the more that the dog is sitting in the car, the more the dog is kind of like panting real heavy and he's like barking. And I'm like, oh my God, do I bust the window out? Like, I don't know what to do. And I'm in an area where like you don't want to bust somebody's windows out because somebody might shoot you kind of area. So I'm like, oh. So I finally was like, okay, that's it. It's been like at least 10 minutes. Like I didn't exactly time myself, but I was pretty sure it had been about 10 minutes. So I called 911 and they do their normal, like, do you need a police or ambulance or fire truck? And I'm like, I guess police. I said, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to call this number and I'm really sorry, but there's a dog in a car and I'm starting to go through the whole thing. And she's like, where are you? And I'm explaining to her where I'm at. And then the people come out and I think they could hear me because I'm in a Jeep Wrangler and I have a soft tap. So like you can kind of hear sometimes. And I have the woman from 911 on the Bluetooth. So it's, like you can hear our conversation. And I said, never mind. I think they just came. Yeah, they're here. They're with their dog. And I look at them and they're looking at me like, bitch, why are you on the phone with the police? And I'm like kind of getting nervous, but I'm like, I'm going to just sit here and wait. So they leave, and then I call Greg, and I'm like, oh my God, you won't believe what I just went through. He's like, I'd have busted the freaking window. And I'm like, I know, I should have busted the window. But I would never have busted a window out. But I was like kind of freaking out because I've never been put in that position before, but I was like, and then I got mad because I'm like, somebody like that should not have a dog because there's no way. I'm not even going to like, I, I would probably go get gas if I had Digger in the car, but I would not like leave Digger in the car while I go run even into 7-Eleven. Like, I would not do that. Yeah. Yeah. I know. I'm glad I called. I really am. I I don't know if I would have broken the window. Probably like in the area that I live, I probably would do something like that. But people out here wouldn't do something like that. I was blown away. I couldn't believe it happened. But I'm just, I don't know. I wish I would have, because I wish it would have been like, okay, we're taking the dog from you. Like, you're bad dog parents. You should not have a dog. Because there's no way I would do that with Digger. I mean, I wouldn't even go to like 7-Eleven and leave him in the car for like 2 seconds. I'd be like, forget it. Whatever it is, I don't need it. You know? Or Greg has to be with me. Greg can run in. Am not going to leave him in the car. Because one, I'm afraid somebody's going to steal Digger from me. I mean, like, because he's just too freaking adorable. But anyway. So we had all that drama that went on. And then I came home and Greg and I went out to eat last night, and that was all cool. And then, like I said, today we I got up and we made breakfast, and then I sat down for like 5 minutes, and all of a sudden I'm like, why is Greg outside? And Greg's starting to he's starting to trim the bushes, and I'm like, guess I better go outside. And then 4 hours later, we're coming in and getting a shower. Then we just did meal prep, and now I need another shower. But I'm waiting until he comes in from cutting the grass. Just had a busy day. We're trying to get as much done as we can before Greg goes in for his knee surgery in 2 weeks, because that's going to be hard. But at least I'm on vacation. It just happened to work out that way, so that's going to work out. And I want to tell you guys, too, I am reading a couple books. So this book is the one I'm reading. So Big Little Lies. This is on HBO, apparently. I don't have HBO. We used to. Digger, what are you doing? I'm watching you. What are you doing? Come here. No? Okay. So we don't have HBO anymore. He's stretching. Digger, you're the star. I don't trust you. So anyway, I'm reading this book. I'm about 50 pages in. I'm on chapter 7. It's really good, though. I mean, this is kind of a cool book. I was a little bit unsure if I was going to like it or not, but I do like it. And I'm finding that I am highlighting a bunch of stuff in here and writing in this book a lot. But it's kind of cool. So I'm really kind of feeling this. Oh, and I don't have it in here with me, but Greg bought me an old book. So I have all these books that I'm starting to get, and we're going to finish the attic, and we're going to turn it into like a library for me. And I'm really excited. So I'm trying to pick up like some old books that mean a lot to me, like some of the old school Danielle Steele books. Like I have Going Home. He bought that for me like 2 years ago. That's I think her very first book she ever wrote, but it was a book that my mom got me into. And then I started reading a lot of Danielle Steele when I was in high school, and I kind of love it. So I'm collecting some of those. I also want to get all of, I know, right? I'm so excited about the library aspect. I'm like, oh, thank you. Because I have a ton of books. I work for a publisher now. So I get a ton of books, and my book collection is becoming massive. Like, I already filled out my one bookshelf, and I have enough books sitting here in this room that it would fill up another entire bookshelf. And I get more books, not this week, but next week. So it's just, my book collection is ridiculous. So anyway, I want to get all of the Babysitters Club books, but I want them in, I don't care if they're in perfect condition, because I mean, obviously I'm highlighting and writing in my books. I'm annotating, so it's, but I want to get them in pretty decent condition, and I want to get as many of the Babysitters Club books as I can. And I also got Valley of the Dolls. That book is amazing. I read the book back in like 2000 when Greg and I kind of first met, And it was such a good book. And I watched the movie, and it just I think it takes place in like what, Valley of the Dolls? I love that book. So I got the version that came out in like I think 97 it was reprinted. And yes, oh girl, I did not even realize that you liked it. Oh, I love that book. So I got the book. It's pink and it has like the cutout of pills, and it's just that was the version that I wanted. So we bought it on eBay for like $5, I think, like under $4. Oh my God. Love that book. So I'm going to be reading that soon. But I did just finish this. I actually really love spoken word poetry. But there was a poetry book that came through, and this is a uncorrected proof. So I get a lot of uncorrected proofs too. They kind of put it on the table. If anybody wants them, they can take them. And this is Mary Oliver, and it's called Devotions, and it's like a huge book of like all her poetry, basically. Like it's a big old book of a lot of stuff she's already done. So if you have her books already, you may not want to buy this unless you like love her, because it's basically all her old work. I don't think there's anything new in here. It's just old stuff. But I read some of her poetry and I kind of skimmed through some of it. It's a lot of nature poetry. And I think that's okay, but an entire book, I was just like, okay, enough about you and the birds I just don't, I mean, it was cool, but it was just too much for me. So I kind of like skimmed through some of it. It's still good. I'm glad I have it. I need something to kind of break things up. I'm more of like a spoken word, like my life is ending type of girl. Like that's just the type of stuff that I like. I don't know, call me crazy, whatever. And I'm reading a little bit of a politically type of book. So, like I said, I work for a publisher. I have a lot of books, and I have a lot of like liberal leaning books, and I have a lot of conservative type books, and I have some stuff like kind of in the middle. And right now I'm reading Shattered. So this is about the Hillary Clinton campaign. Good. This is kind of about her deciding to run, and I'm still kind of early on in the book, but there's a chapter about Bernie Sanders and how he kind of wanted to come in and not really change the party, but he wanted to bring his progressive ideas to the forefront, and that he kind of didn't feel like he would really have a chance. And he was just hoping that he would maybe have a little bit more clout in the Senate. And I think he definitely did that. So I'll give him credit for that. Totally. I think he definitely came in and brought some issues to the forefront, and people were like, hey, this is how I feel. And, so that was good things. They're also talking about Joe Biden and why he didn't really like run. Like he thought he wanted to run, and he didn't want to. It's kind of like he was conflicted. And then you also had Obama that was putting everything in for Hillary Clinton, and Joe Biden was kind of feeling like, hey, I've been like your BFF, and I've been like by your side for 8 years, like WTF, what about me kind of thing. So I just think that's kind of interesting to see all of that, and the way that Hillary Clinton was handling, certain things that were coming her way. And so it's kind of interesting. I think all that stuff is interesting. It's good to see how history kind of shapes itself. So those are the things that I'm kind of doing with that. And my main focus for this week. So, I know what else. I wanted to talk to you guys about this too. So my girlfriend sent me a message, and she's kind of like, we were talking about competing. Do you really? I love all books. I read everything, like legit. I'm a book fanatic, and I'm going to be reading a lot of books when Greg goes through his surgery. Hopefully he's going to be drugged up and asleep, and I can get a whole lot of reading done when he is in the hospital. Well, he'll only be in for surgery. I guess he's coming home that day, so whatever. But I'm just hoping that I'll be able to get some stuff done. Plus, there's a lot of like organizing and cleaning I want to do too when he comes home. But so my girlfriend and I were talking about competing, And kind of like I asked her what her why is, like why she would want to compete again. Like you have to have like a reason and a focus when you're going through all of that because you're in the gym constantly and you're eating and you're strict and you're kind of you're adjusting your life really. And when I competed and when I decided long time ago, like, I mean, I want to go back to 2006, 2007. I was like on the bodybuilding websites and I was, reading Oxygen magazine and I wanted to get up on stage and kind of like feel like, look at me, I'm so pretty in my little sparkly bikini and I have some muscles. And I could not get myself focused for a really long time. And then when my daughter ran away from home, I went through some stuff. So, um, we went to court, we were in and out of court, and then when all of that stuff kind of came to an end, um, I had decided about a month and a half, 2 months after everything that like, okay, I'm gonna hire a trainer and I'm going to compete. But I don't really know what my why was because I never really did anything for the years leading up to it. Like I didn't decide to compete until 2012. In 2011 was 209 pounds. When I started to compete, I was still like, I was down in weight, but I was still overweight. So I was kind of going through all that stuff. And I don't know what he's barking at. He'll be good. So I was just kind of like going through all the motions. Like I don't know what I really want. But I said, I'm just going to focus on this because I need something to take my mind off of all the bad things that are going on. And also like when court ended in May, I also found out in March 23rd, which is my brother's birthday. That's why I remember it. I found out that my mom had passed away almost 6 months to the day earlier. And it was hard because I was going through all the stuff with my daughter. And then I found out that my mother was dead for like 6 months and nobody told me. My mom and I weren't exactly on speaking terms when she passed away. But I mean, I only lived like 15 minutes away from her. And I have brothers and sisters. Nobody bothered to tell me anything. So I was just dealing with so many things. And I just decided like, okay, I am going to compete. And it took me July, August, it took me almost a month and a half, 2 months to decide. It is horrible. Thank you. So it took me about 2 months to finally say, okay, that's it. I'm all in. That's it. I don't care what I look like when I get on stage. I'm doing this, right? Because I was at such a low in my life. Like I just didn't know how to pick myself back up. And I went to the gym and I started doing 2 a day. So I was going to the gym in the morning and I was doing like an hour of cardio. And then at night, I was 4 days a week. So Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I was doing weight training, which was anywhere from like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And then I was doing another hour of cardio on top of that. And I was doing cardio twice a day, 7 days a week, whether I was doing weight training or not. If it was a weight training day, I'd do weights and then I would do cardio. And I was on it. And I lost some weight. And I was also doing a ketogenic diet. And it was hard. It was really, really hard. I was not eating that many calories either. And I still don't know what my why was. I don't know. I was just trying to not kill myself, I guess, if I'm going to be honest. Like, I mean, I was just at such a low point. And then I managed to be 125 pounds and get on stage and rock that shit. And I was so proud of myself. And I did not look great on stage. And my posing was terrible, even though I had a posing coach. But I totally blame her for my posing. It was atrocious. But she also did not compete in the NPC. So she competed in OCB. So it was kind of like different. So I'm just like, whatever, I chalked it up. So when I did my second competition, I had a new trainer for posing. And I just, it was a really good experience for me, and everybody just thought that I was gonna be, like, so like, I was gonna just lose it after the show, and I didn't. I kept everything in control. Kept my weight pretty much around the same. Actually, I lost weight after my show, so I was about 120 pounds, and then I kinda stayed around 120 when I was off season. So, I mean, I was doing really good. And then I decided to compete the following year, which was 2013. But right after my show, so my show was in October, in November, almost a month later, right before Thanksgiving, my dad passed away. And I found out via Facebook from my sister, who did not call me to tell me that our mother had passed away. She was mad because nobody told her that our dad passed away. So she wanted to contact me to make me like, I can't believe nobody would tell you that dad passed away, kind of thing. It was ridiculous. So, and she was also the one that kind of helped the whole thing with my daughter happen, with my daughter running away. So I was just like, why the fuck are you calling me, bitch? Basically. So, whew. So anyway, so my dad passed away, and it actually hit me a little bit harder than I thought it would. My mom too, and I just was kind of going through all that stuff, but I didn't lose focus of what I was doing. I was stronger than ever. I mentally, physically, I was doing so good, and um, you know, I was having a lot of problems at work in 2013. So when I was going through my second prep, I was dealing with all that stuff. Families suck. Um, and I was just kind of like dealing with, I guess, everything, but I had my focus on my next show. So I never really dealt with everything, all the drama that was happening. I thought I was dealing with it and I was getting stronger, but I guess I wasn't. And I went through the year, and I mean, I was having problems at work. It got to the point where, I mean, I was feeling so confident. I was like, you know what? I really don't care about my manager or what he thinks. I'm going to call him in the office, and I'm going to tell him, like, you and I need to have a one-on-one conversation, and let me explain to you why I did a survey about you. And I said that you basically suck. And when I went into the meeting, I was very nice, right? Like, I did everything the right way. I brought him in and I said, look, this is what I really like about you. And this, were the expectations that I had. And this is why. And, you suck. And these are the reasons why you suck. And then I gave another positive. So I did like that, like little positive sandwich where it's like a positive, a negative, and then finish with positive. So I did all that. And it turned out to be a really good conversation. It was awesome. So that made me feel real confident and good. And I did my second show, and I looked way better for my second show than I did for my first. And I was real confident, I but I was standing in line to get my tan, and I saw a Twitter message from my daughter, and it was a picture that somebody had stole from my Facebook. That was like a selfie of me while I was in court dealing with all of my daughter's drama. And you could see like just the hurt and just everything on my face during that time. And even though like I thought it was like a good picture, like you could just looking back and you just be like, oh my God, like there's some major pain like there. And looking back to see what Greg is doing. He's been outside for almost an hour. And I just looked at it, and it was like my headshot from that day on top of a pile of poop. And I was just like hurt, really, really hurt. And that messed with my psyche. And that was the day before my show while I was waiting to get tan. And then while I was doing check-ins and then getting my tan. And then the next day was my show. And then after that show, I was just like, I don't know what my why is. I don't know why I'm doing this. And I'm like, I just want to enjoy life. And, I kept my weight off for over a year, and I'm doing good. And I think I can manage this. And I'm going to, try to do this like healthy balance thing. But I'm starting to realize that I don't know if a healthy balance exists, or if I just don't. Hey, happy Sunday to you. I just don't know if there's a healthy balance, or if I'm just not a balanced type of individual. I don't know. So I don't know. And since 2014, I've pretty much kind of been lost. I think that after I did my two shows, I just started dealing with the loss of my daughter, my parents, my grandmother, finding out later that other people had died, and I found out through social media, and it's just been like one really like bad thing after another. And then, Greg and I moved to this house in this area, and I didn't know people or anything like that. And then I changed jobs, and there were just a lot of changes that were going on. And I've just kind of been in this like down spiral since then. And I don't really know how to bring myself back. And I don't know if I want to compete ever again. I don't know what my why is. I think I have decided that if I do want to compete again, it'll probably, yeah, yeah, I know. I never really did give myself time to kind of deal with everything. And I don't really know how you deal with any of that stuff. I don't know how you come to terms with it because, I mean, I don't have a place where I can go and see my mom. Um, they, I'm pretty sure that um, there's no gravesite, so they cremated her. And as far as my dad goes, I posted a picture of me and my dad on Facebook years ago, after he passed away, probably like a year after he passed away. And my stepmom, who was not a friend of mine on Facebook, saw my picture and threatened me with lawyers. And I'm just like, you can't threaten me with lawyers for posting a picture of my dad. And I was just like, you know what? I just deleted it because I was like, I don't need this drama in my life. I just don't need it. And so I never really got closure. My dad passed away in Texas, and I'm in Maryland, so we're like really far away. So there's like, I mean, I don't know what they would have done with his remains. Probably cremated him. Also, I don't know. Um, and then as far as my daughter, I've tried to talk to her and it just doesn't work. And at this point, she's a felon and she's into drugs and alcohol and she is an adult at this point. She's 21. So, I mean, we're going back 7, 8 years. All this stuff took place. It's just, so I feel like I really don't get closure. So it's kind of hard. Like when you don't have closure, how do you make closure and move on? I don't know how you do that. I don't know. So I just have to kind of move on. And right now I'm just trying to focus on Greg and I and our life. And one of my main things is right now just doing things in life that make me happy and not doing things that don't make me happy. And I realized that like with Facebook, that's why I basically closed my Facebook down, is that Facebook doesn't make me happy. Um, it brings me less joy. So why put myself through that? Um, my blog wasn't bringing me joy like it once did, so I decided to like remove that. And I think that some people think it's selfish to cut people or things out of your life. I know, but what kind of mental exercise do I do to give myself? I'm journaling, and I am I'm 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 really trying to focus on myself and not focus on other people to give me that peace, that I guess I desire. So I am looking at myself to do that. It's just hard. It's hard, you guys. But I am working on that. I am coming to peace with a lot of different things in my life, and I'm enjoying my job. I like that. I get a lot of free books. um, and I think I'm just kind of like making things a little bit more simple for me. And I'm finally going to the gym, and I got my little date book, and have it around me, but I have my date book and I've got these little stars that I found at Michael's, and I just put like a star. And if I do 2 gym visits a day, I'm putting 2 stars, and I'm just kind of like feeling a little bit better. It really is good. Um, hmm, I don't know if I can forgive. Is that terrible? You need to figure out what would make you feel better about all of, yeah, what's happened. I guess I'm gonna have to go back to journaling and try to figure out exactly what it is that I'm trying to do. And I think the more that I talk about things, the more I can kind of get everything kind of out in the open and air everything out. And I kind of feel bad because I vomit all this stuff out to Greg like all the time, and he's really the one that hears about everything. But I'm starting to get there. The one good thing that I did do is I deleted my daughter off of social media because she was following me and I was following her, and it was turning into a tit for tat kind of thing. It was ridiculous. So just decided that sometimes you just gotta kind of focus on yourself and let go of the past and some things that you can't control. Because if you hold on to things, you're just gonna keep beating yourself up about stuff. So yeah, I got yeah. So I got a lot of things that I need to kind of like work through with that. But I don't know. I'm sure I'll get it all figured out one of these days, right? I'll get it all like, figured out. So I don't know. I just thank you guys for letting me jibber jabber. I think I'm gonna do this. I know a lot of people are doing Veda for August. I think I'm gonna do live chats once a day in August just to kind of like get my thoughts out in the open. So I can have like real thoughts and not feel like I'm rambling so much because I do that a lot. But anyway, I thanks. I think I'm going to go ahead and get off of here because I think I just heard Greg finish up, and we've got to eat dinner and get ready for tomorrow. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to have some other videos up this month too, but I'm going to try to get on and do some live video every day in August. So yay for live videos and yay for me getting my crap together. It was bound to happen one of these days. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to work out and do all that good stuff. And I'm probably going to be on here chatting a lot when Greg is in the house after surgery, because he's probably going to drive me insane and I'm going to want to get away from him. But I'm going to jump off of here before Greg decides to walk up and like probably walk past us naked. Y'all don't want to see that. So thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I will see you guys soon. And thank you.